Part 3 begins with the group being divided into two, trying to find a way out of the city of Moscow. Using the map that the leader of the hunter group left before, Max and the group enter an underground tunnel while Xenia and Natasha are driving away in Max's car. To their bad luck, the car breaks down and Xenia and Natasha are lost midway. They look around to find another car to use but fail to find any. Right then, Xenia asks Natasha to stay inside the car while he go and find a car to escape. Soon, Xenia spots another car with a dead woman inside. He then approaches the woman and tries to steal her money and the ring that she is wearing. To his bad luck, Natasha also arrives there and catches him doing so. Later, when Xenia tries to propose to her and gives her the ring, she gets enraged and asks him to return the ring. With this act, Xenia gets pissed and he tells her that he is not as perfect as Sasha and that she should go and be with him. Listening to this, Natasha becomes enraged and walks away from there. Next, as soon as Natasha leaves, a mutant approaches Xenia and tries to attack him. When the mutant is taking a step closer to the car window, out of nowhere, Natasha returns and attracts the mutant to her. The mutant then makes an irritating sound and kisses Natasha. Instantly, after this, Natasha turns into a mutant herself, with her eyes turning black and her moves transforming. Using this opportunity, Xenia runs away from there but gets pursued by the same mutant. The scene then shifts to the tunnel, where Valera and Max are discussing the topic of selecting the correct route. While they are discussing, Jane feels something weird and remains silent. She suddenly collapses on the floor and despite Valera calling her multiple times, she does not respond. Irina then quickly gives her an injection shot, trying to reduce the rate of infection of the virus. On the other hand, after collecting some food to eat from the supermarket, Nadia enters his hotel room and realizes that someone is inside his room. He searches for a while and finds Nadia waiting for him. She tells him that she left the hunter group and came to his room. When Nadia asks Nadia about how she found his room, she tells him that she knows people like him very well. After the conversation, the two come closer to each other and spend some intimate moments together. Next, while continuing their way forward through the underground tunnel, Valera and the group come across a bisection. Valera suggests going through the alternate route, while Max looks at the map and suggests another. Here, the two begin to argue, and to make his statement bolder, Valera steals Max's gun and points it at him. He further mentions that Irina will go after him, and Jane, as she is needed to take care of Jane. Here, Irina gets frustrated and reveals that Randomsky is her father, and that the boys can trust him. She also mentions that the guy who was kidnapped by them before gave her correct information about her father's old laboratory. As soon as the boys hear that Randomsky is Irina's father, they ask her why she didn't inform them before. In reply, Irina tells them that she was afraid to tell them the truth, and she never considered Randomsky her father. Listening to this, the group continues moving, hoping to reach Randomsky's lab in time and get a cure for Jane. Following this, while they are making their way forward, they hear the same sound made by the mutants and deduce that they are near them. Hearing this, the group starts learning fiercely, trying to find an exit. Unfortunately, during this rush, Sasha loses balance and splits up with the group. He then walks out of a sewer opening and runs on the road, saving his life. Outside, as he walks some steps further, he notices a mutant walking toward him. Sasha then runs away, but the mutants surround him from all sides. Luckily, before he gets attacked, a young lady arrives there and shoots at the mutants. She also uses the ultrasound to keep mutants away from her. In the next scene, Pasha also gets caught by Glotov's soldiers and is brought to his office. Here, he finds Marina locked inside the confinement chamber. After seeing Pasha, Marina rushes to hug him and Pasha apologizes to her for leaving her alone. Sometime later, Glotov's employee arrives there and helps them to escape the facility. Meanwhile, the girl who saved Sasha brings him to a secret place and asks him to practice using guns. She tells him that she needs him to help her cross the border. At first, Sasha hesitates to hate her, but later, he agrees to join her and learn to shoot. Moving on, Valera and the group also come out of the sewer and go to a rooftop, thinking that it is the best place to hide. After leaving the group there, Max goes back to find Sasha but fails to find him. At this time, Jane again feels weird and Irina injects her with another shot. Following this, Valera asks Jane to take some rest while Irina and Max are talking to each other, covering themselves with the same blanket. The scene then shifts to Glotov's research lab, where he throws his employee to the mutant's chamber after he is caught betraying him. Soon, the mutant girl makes a disturbing sound and knocks him unconscious. She then bites him on his throat and kills him instantly. Glotov is looking at all this from outside and enjoying his time. The following morning, Pasha and Marina make their way to a radio station and begin calling out for Irina. Max hears Pasha taking Irina's name on the radio and deduces to help them. At first, Valera is against searching for Pasha and Marina. but when Jane requests him, he agrees. After this, the group sets out toward the location mentioned by Pasha, walking through the underground tunnels. Meanwhile, Nadia, who is staying at a hotel with Midia, has a bruise on her chest. She lies to Midia that it is caused by the hunter group leader, but in reality, it does not seem so. As soon as Midia enters the room, she hides it and cherishes the gift that he has brought for her, a beautiful red dress. Moving on towards Sasha, he and the biker girl, Nika, ride towards a shooting range to practice some shooting. Here, Nika also shows Sasha a device that emits some ultrasound and mentions that she uses them to distract the mutants. Soon, she discusses the plan to escape the city and clears his role to Sasha. In the next scene, Irina decides to go to the place Pasha mentioned before. Though at first, Max tells her that he will go there alone and Irina should stay back to look after Jane. Irina follows him and meets him near the destined location. Moments after they reach the location, they spot Pasha and follow him. On the other hand, Valera sets off to search for Irina and Max, leaving behind Jane alone in a cave. Unfortunately, as soon as he steps out, he is caught by Glotov's soldiers and Jane also gets chased. The scene then shifts to a closed military vehicle, where all of the remaining group members are captured. It turns out that Pasha followed Glotov's order to bring his mates to a place in exchange for Marina's safety. Valera gets enraged at Pasha, but now it's too late. Soon, Glotov arrives there and asks Irina to give him information about her father. Hearing this, Irina tells him that she does not have any information about it, but he gives her a finite period of time to reply, threatening to kill all of her friends if she does not comply. As soon as Glotov leaves, some mutants attack the soldiers and kill them. One of the soldiers opens the door of the military vehicle, but fails to enter. Using this opportunity, the group manages to walk out of the place, but a group of mutants notices them. Jane walks towards the mutants asking others to leave, but Valera manages to pull her in time. However, Pasha attracts the mutants toward him, holding a machine gun. To his bad luck, before he could fire at them, the gun runs out of bullets and he is compelled to hold a grenade in his hands. Moments later, there occurs a huge blast, killing Pasha and the other mutants around him. With a broken heart, the group rushes to the nearby library and stays inside to remain safe. On the other hand, Midia searches for Nadia around the house and gets shocked to see her as a mutant. When Nadia approaches him, he tries to shoot her holding a gun but cannot fire it out. Eventually, Nadia gets onto him and kills him before leaving the building and joining the army of mutants. Later at night, the group staying at the library is afraid of mutants attacking their place and is also worried about Jean's condition. Adding to their misery, Valera falls asleep while taking guard of the place, and at the same time, Jean feels like the mutants are calling her, and she leaves the building without informing anyone. Moments later, Valera wakes up and looks out for Jean. After not finding her around, he immediately figures out that she might have joined the mutants and heads out to search for her. Surprisingly, when he walks out, he notices that the mutants are not attacking him, but rather walking straight in a group to a destination. He notices Jean in the middle of the group and carefully pulls her away. Max also helps him in doing so, and together they take Jean back to the library, while the other mutants gather around the central building IE, emitting the ultrasound signals. In the next scene, we get to know that the ultrasound signals are causing side effects even in the test subjects in Glotov's laboratory. The test subjects can be seen behaving abnormally, having produced more hormones than normally required for a human body. Right then, Randomski's lab assistant, Anatoly, enters the laboratory and searches for some special kind of medicine. Glotov's guards notice him through the CCTV cameras and apprehend him soon, following Glotov's orders. Glotov immediately recognizes him and asks the guards to extract the location of Randomski from him. While Glotov is talking to the guards over a walkie-talkie, Anatoly reacts cleverly and flees the place. Meanwhile, Irina brings the other group members to her father's laboratory. They struggle to find the lag at first, but eventually enter the lab after Randomski opens the wooden door. However, when Valera asks Randomski to inject Jean with the injection, he replies to him that the vaccine is not ready yet. He also mentions that Anatoly has gone out to find the remaining substances to create the vaccine. Enraged, Valera nearly attacks Randomski, but Max comes in between and stops him. Here, Randomski tells Valera that the vaccine is at the last stage, and Anatoly has gone to gather the final ingredients from Glotov's laboratory. Moving on, we get to see Sasha and Nika getting really close to each other. They promise one another to be together, and seeing Sasha shoot the bottles with accuracy, Nika becomes really happy. She is now sure that, when she takes her bike over the fence, Sasha can take care of the officers guarding the place. Later in the evening, Valera goes to talk to Jane and finds that her condition has gotten worse. Jane tells Valera that she has started hearing the mutants calling her, and that her time is over. She then reminds Valera about his promise, and falls unconscious. After this, Valera goes to Max and asks for his gun, telling him that he has promised Jane to kill her before she can harm anyone after turning into a mutant. Right then, Anatoly approaches Sasha and Nike and asks for some help. He tells them that he has the necessary ingredients to make the vaccine and requests them to show him the way to the laboratory. Though Nika hesitates to help, Sasha agrees, mentioning that his friend is in great need of a vaccine. He also tells Nika that the man they are going to can definitely create a vaccine as he is the one who created the virus. In the next scene, while Randomski is apologizing to his daughter Irina about his past deeds, he hears footsteps approaching their lab. They quickly deduce that the footsteps are of the mutants and add more items to block the door. Fortunately, Sasha guides Anatoly to the laboratory, and Nika also joins them. After some time, they arrive outside the laboratory, and using the ultrasound, Nika scares the mutants away from them. Hearing Anatoly's voice, Randomski quickly opens the door and lets them in. He then does not waste any time and quickly begins preparing the vaccine. Meanwhile, Jane experiences a strange phenomenon in her head and her eyes instantly turn black, transforming her into a mutant. Valera, who is looking after her, quickly pulls out the gun and tries to stop her. Next, when the vaccine is almost ready, Randomski asks Anatoly to get him a vaccine. Right then, when Irina goes to search for the vaccine, Nika holds her at gunpoint and threatens to kill her. She mentions that she lost her family because of the virus, and the creator must feel how much it hurts to lose a family member. Everyone tries to stop her, but she seems to be in no mood to listen to anyone. Later, when Sasha requests her to put the gun down, she rolls the gun behind Irina's back and we hear a gunshot. Hearing this, everyone gets afraid and immediately runs to see Valera and Jane. Unfortunately, when they reach there, Valera is on the floor holding the dead body of Jane. He tells everyone that he had already promised her and had to fulfill the promise at any cost. In the following scene, while everyone is mourning over Jane's death, Randomski tells everyone about Project Clayton and how the wealthy people are trying to create a world suitable for them. Right then, Glotov's men arrive outside the laboratory and ask them to surrender. Before they can enter, Randomski hides the vaccine they prepared inside the safe. Here, we see that Nika has already left the laboratory and is preparing to execute her plan to escape. Next, we see the whole group getting captured by Glotov's men. Glotov also enters the laboratory and belittles Randomski for not working with him. He then requests Randomski to help him find ways to control the mutants using the ultrasound without any side effects. At first, Randomski refuses to help him, but later when Glotov holds Irina under gunpoint, he agrees and takes him to the room where Jane is lying dead. Glotov asks about the corpse and Randomski tells him that he has been working on the virus and has found something really interesting about it. Cleverly, Randomski turns on the ventilation and pretends that he is releasing the virus into the room. As soon as he hears this, Glotov starts to panic and asks Randomski to stop. However, Randomski does not stop and tells him that he needs to take the kids outside the perimeter to get a shot of the vaccine kept inside the safe. Having no other choice left, Glotov calls his security head and asks him to arrange a van to take everyone outside the perimeter. When the van arrives, everyone gets inside it, except for Sasha. He tells that he has to go and find Nika and leaves the place. Randomski also mentions that he cares about the safety of his daughter, and that others can do whatever they wish. Following this, Sasha arrives at Nika's place, but does not find her around. He then immediately grabs a helmet and hurries towards the location from where they plan to jump over the electric border. Luckily, he crosses the bridge and joins Nika. On the other hand, the remaining group, which is being taken by Glotov's men, gets their way blocked by the hunter group. The leader of the hunter group immediately kills the guards and takes others hostage. He then asks his men to steal the Pinnacle Guard's uniform and pretend as one. When Valera and others inform him that they were being taken to the other side of the city, the leader urges his troops to kill the boys and keep the girls for their entertainment. Fortunately, Nika arrives there at the moment and after distracting the hunter group leader for some time, she points a gun at him. Sasha also emerges from the woods and asks him to leave his friends. In the following scene, Glotov pretends to call his security head and asks him if he has crossed the perimeter with the group. Here, it is revealed that he has in fact asked his guards to kill everyone who is approaching the border in Pinnacle's van. Soon, the van arrives at the border with the hunter group members driving it. Without wasting any time, the guards open fire at the van and kill each of the hunters and inform Glotov that his order has been fulfilled. Back at the old laboratory, Glotov tells Randomski that his wish has been completed and asks for the vaccine. To his bad luck, Randomski suddenly asks him to let him talk to his daughter by himself. As he has already received the message from his guards that the members of the van have been eliminated, he hesitates to do so and pulls out a gun from his pocket, pointing it at Anatoly. As soon as he does so, Randomski opens the safe and gives him a vaccine. Glotov happily accepts it and injects himself with it. Moments after taking the vaccine, Glotov starts feeling something weird and inquires Randomski about the vaccine. At this moment, Randomski reveals that the content in the vaccine is a concentrated virus instead of a vaccine, causing Glotov to fall to the floor unconscious. In the last scene, Irina and the group are at the same place where the hunter group left them and are planning to cross the border on their own. However, Irina refuses to join them and mentions that she would like to go back and help her father create a vaccine. Hearing these words from her, everyone decides to join her and they head toward the old laboratory. On their way to the laboratory, they notice a large number of mutants lying dead on the floor. After taking a closer look at the mutants, Irina deduces that they are adversely affected by the ultrasound and are dying because of the same cause. On the other hand, it is shown that Glotov has died and other high-ranking officials are discussing the failure of their Clayton project. However, one of them claims that the project ended on a good note, and that they need to wait for the mutant mothers to give birth to see the real success of their project. The episode ends with the mutant body of Nadia walking across the town, suggesting that the next season will arrive soon. Subscribe to see more videos like this, turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.